been an honor and a privilege to listen to you. Sir, you mentioned a lot about goal setting and how important it is for a student, especially when they are starting off in their careers. I would like to actually completely ask you the antithesis of your talk. Is goal setting a bit too overrated in today's day and age? Because after a point of time, we can't exactly predict where we would end up in our corporate careers, or even if, for example, if I take up marketing now, and if I later find that I'm actually better at finance and I should have taken it way back and I should have set my goals to take up finance. So, is how important is goal setting in one's career, and how do we predict where our life would end up, in your opinion?
Sure. So, Nitesh, very good question. See, goal is not so important, but what is important is the the goal actually gives you direction in terms of taking the right decision. Because in your life or in your career, you will always have to make choices. If you
Yes.
have a clear goal, it gives you direction in terms of how to make those choices. In
Yes.
absence of goal, it is very difficult to evaluate the choices you have or even set the criteria on which those goals needs to be evaluated. So and
Understood.
hence, uh, you need to have some goal. Yes, you may keep it as a temporary goal, you may keep it as a fixed goal. However, you must have a goal post, because in absence of goal post, then the decisions would be at random, at your mood, and you may actually make decisions which may not lead to anywhere.
Sure, sir. So how important would you say that goal adjustment is in life? For example, maybe I've set some lofty goals, overestimating my potential, or maybe I've set some lower goals, which is way beyond. I can do way more than that. So how does one exactly assess their own
And how
capability?
much
And
would
would you say that self introspection and self learning is plays a role in this scenario?
So first, goal setting is very important, right? There are many matrices in terms of how do you set a goal. A simple one is your SMART goal, that it should be specific, it should be measurable, it's time bound, and so on and so forth. But having goal is very important. It's important to have changes in goal, because you can't have a goal in an environment which is constantly changing
Mhm.
sometimes. And this pandemic has taught us that you may consider many of things as given. However, you must always have a room to modify your goal depending on the environment, how it's evolving, right? So you must have a goal, but you should always be flexible in terms of modify your goal.
So, since you are a stalwart in marketing, so I'd like to ask, in the current pandemic scenario, what changes in marketing have you seen from the traditional to the modern marketing, especially in the last 2 years that we have seen? So, how do you see marketing evolving in the current scenario, and what do you see as the future of marketing?
See, what this pandemic has taught us is that the only constant in this world is change, right? Pandemic has only accelerated the pace of change.
Mhm.
So in classical marketing, you would have all the time with you. The consumer would have time. He would have accessibility. You would have accessibility to meet the consumer, understand their needs, create product concepts, test them, and then decide whether you want to market and how to market, right? But in pandemic, you were actually constrained in many parameters. You were running against time in terms of understanding the consumer need, how it is evolving, creating the product concept, and then creating it, and finally, above all, manufacturing it in all the lockdown and making it accessible for the consumers, right? So, what is still constant, will always be constant, is the pace, is the change in environment. I think the pace of change has changed, and that's why the marketing has evolved as per the requirement of of the environment.
So would you say that digitization of marketing has been promulgated because of the pandemic, and people wouldn't have taken it so seriously if it wasn't for the pandemic, like digitization in general?
So, one of the most common mistake everybody makes in marketing is all about marketing communication.
Okay.
Marketing drives business. right?
Mhm.
If you create marketing creates demand, it fulfills demand. That's the core of any business which needs to survive, right?
Mhm. Yes, sir.
Revenue generation is core for any business. So, digitization or digital marketing is one part of this entire spectrum. What I'm talking about is your ability to understand consumer and then create product. Many of the products which were created were not even in digital world, right? Have you
Yes.
ever seen a digital campaign or even a marketing campaign on sanitizer? Right? It was a need which got created, a category which got created in a fortnight. So the
Mhm.
marketing task was to understand that what is going to be a consumer need, create a product according to that, create a differentiation, and make sure that it gets manufactured and connect to consumers just in time. Right? Once
Yes.
the flight has taken off, then there's no point of selling the flight ticket. So
Mhm.
hence, I think this is what is more important than let's say looking at the digital marketing.
So if I could ask you to be a soothsayer and predict the future of marketing, especially FMCG products, where many of the products from the brands are distinguishable and are indistinguishable at the same time. Many of the times, marketing plays the crucial role in uh, bringing brand X above brand Y. So, what do you see as the future of marketing evolving in such a scenario?
First of all, marketing and many more functions would still be relevant in future. And I'm not saying that marketing is the only function because in the college which we are there, finance is equally important, human resources is also important, operation is important. Every function is important. It's like a part in your body. You
Yes,
can't
sir.
say that brain is more important than heart
Yes, sir.
or any other vital function. What is important is that in a human body, every part of body has to work in coherence,
Yes, sir.
right? None of the body part can uh, say that I'm supreme, and that's why the entire body has to follow my command, right? Specifically on marketing, specifically in terms of understanding consumer need, in terms of driving revenue for the businesses and to help businesses survive, marketing would continue to be one of the lead functions.
Mhm.
And what is going to happen in future is the change in environment. So today you are talking about a mass product. You may move into customization, more specific products, which is for me. Your ability to connect with consumers is going to change. Your ability to understand and influence the consumer is going to change. So all those things will happen. And that pace is going to only uh, go faster.
Yes, sir. Definitely. So final question for you, sir. How has your experience with IMT Nagpur and the students and giving a webinar online with digitally, how has it been? And could you share some thoughts of the same, sir?
No, it has been a very wonderful experience. Uh, Originally uh, for interacting with students, you would spend quite a lot of time in terms of reaching out to the place and then interacting
Yes.
with students.
Yes.
The digital environment is giving us the facility where we can meet quickly.
Yes.
However, I would still love to have the face-to-face interaction when we have a lot of discussion, interesting discussion. The I talked about the natural frequency. So this is my natural frequency, right? I love to interact with youngsters. I
Yes.
love the energy. I love the inquisitiveness, and their thought-provoking views, which always is the source of all the new ideas, right? So it
Sir.
has been a very great experience for me. I'm sure the all the students will do very well, and I wish them all the very best.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.